What's up everyone, Lance Hedrick here, and today we're going to go over a piece of equipment that has been frequently requested, the Bellman Stovetop Steamer. So today we're going over the Bellman Stovetop Steamer, and I want to give a huge shout out to my friends at Prima Coffee Equipment for letting me borrow this. Down below you'll have a link if you want to buy it through them, and yeah, I'm just so stoked that they've agreed to let me use this, and they've helped me with some other equipment as well, so thank you so much, Prima. And while I have you all, if you'll take a second to like and subscribe, that would be so appreciated. All of that really helps me grow this channel and just make great stuff for you all. Thank you so much, and let's continue. So a lot of you don't have an espresso machine at home. Well, an automatic espresso machine or a semi-automatic espresso machine that has a steam wand built in. Some of you like manual espresso, some of you like mocha pots, but want to have steamed milk with really nice texture. Of course, you can go the route of little foamers, but a lot of people want to replicate the experience of an espresso machine. The best way to do that is with something like this. So if you don't know what this is, it is a metal canister. You put water inside, you boil it. As it keeps rising in temperature, the pressure begins to build because you close off all the valves, and then once that pressure is high enough, you start to steam. So the way that you know pressure is high enough is there's a spring in this arm, and when the pressure builds and builds and builds, since you're not letting any of it out, there's a little spring in here that pushes back, and these little holes allow steam to escape. And that tells you, okay, you're at full pressure. You can't build any more pressure. It's allowing it to leak because it's pushing that spring back. Then what you can do is you use this knob just like you are on an espresso machine. Open and close the valve, all right? And steam comes out of this. So, cool. That seems pretty straightforward. So I'm going to take this apart real quick. It's very simple to show you kind of how this works, and then we're going to steam some milk. We're going to pour some latte art, and you're going to know how to use it. First, we're going to take off this top knob, which, by the way, whenever this is on during the steaming process, make sure it is on tight as possible. There's an O-ring on here to make sure it's suctioned. You don't want any of the steam to come out. It can be very dangerous. You also don't want to take this part off when it's really hot because it can burn you. Take this piece off, all right? That right there, all right? And now what we got is a big old reservoir. So what I recommend is never filling up beyond this lip. I fill up right around here-ish, okay? Don't fill up too high. Yeah, but that's about it. You can take the handle off right here, and then with the wrench, you can take this off, all right? Now, I know that some people have replaced the spring for a lower pressure one. I haven't found the need for that. I've been able to get silky milky with any type of milk, and today I'm going to be using both dairy and I'm going to use Barista Milk from Miracle Kitchen. Anyway, this is what it looks like. So what we're going to do, very simply, is I have water boiling. I'm going to just fill it up to where I showed you. It needs to be filled right around here. Fill it up, put the top on, turn it, twist it, screw it on tight. That's the word. I'm going to screw it on tight, and I'm going to put it on high on my stove right behind me. So let's get to it. All right, so I've got it filled up to about here. Now I'm going to just replace everything. Put it on there, make sure they're all aligned, and we're going to screw this bad boy on. Get it on nice and tight. And whoops. There we go, nice and tight. Now we're going to set this back here onto this, and we're going to get the stove going. All right, so I've got the flame underneath. I'm going to let this go until I see some steam coming out of the holes on the handle. That tells me that it has reached the peak pressure and it has pushed that spring back, and it's not allowing me to get any more pressure. Once that happens, I'm simply going to take it. I'll probably have a rag because this handle will likely be hot, and I'm going to put it right here, all right? And I'm just going to steam right in front of you because we have that pressure built already. We're going to be good to go. The first thing I'll do is I'm going to purge some of that moisture out of the steam wand, and then we're going to start steaming. So while that's going, I'm going to prepare some espresso. Now, I'm going to be using my Nomad manual espresso maker. Let me pull this into shot. Boop. To brew some espresso. And once that's ready, we will pour some latte art. All right, so as you see, we have steam coming out of the holes on the handle telling us that we're at full pressure. We're gonna take this, we're gonna put it right here. First thing I'm going to do is I'm gonna release some of the steam just to purge it a little bit. There we go. Now I've got my milk dosed. I'm gonna get up on it. I'm gonna go 1/2 and 1/4, and I'm gonna open the valve. So we're gonna sit there, do the 1/2 and 1/4, just like in my milk steaming video, which I'll link right above. It's the same exact thing. 1/2 and 1/4, we're gonna do light stretches. I like to put my fingers on the knob over here. It might be a little hot, but for a little bit of balance, helps me get some texture. I'm just gonna sit there and let it whirl. All right, then once you're at temp, you're just gonna slowly turn it off. Wrong way. I'm gonna take the rag, wipe off the steam wand, and then we're gonna clear it out. All right, so now we have our milk. I'm gonna transfer it to a pitcher I prefer pouring into. Then we're gonna pour. Here we go. All right, not great, but not terrible. But you see the idea. That milk texture is really nice. The crema had thinned out as it was sitting there, and I pulled it on a little manual espresso machine. But there you have it. Some really nice silky milky made with a Bellman Stovetop Steamer. All right, I'm gonna do one more, and then we're gonna do one with Barista Milk so you can get a look at that. And here we go. All right, so now that we have that valve going off, the steam's coming out, I'm gonna turn off the stovetop. Safety first. I'm gonna grab it. I use a rag just because it's a little hot. Set it over here. First thing I'm gonna do is clear out the steam wand just a bit. Now, we take that pitcher, and like linked above, we're gonna go 1/2 and 1/4, just like that milk steaming video I have linked right above. Do some light stretches, and make sure that vortex is going really strongly. And now it's just a waiting game. Be careful not to over-inject air. It's actually quite aggressive, so you might pretty easily inject too much early on. So you just want to be really, 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 really subtle with it. All right, once that's all done, turn it off, get a wet rag, wipe, clear out. There we go. Now we're going to take that milk. I like to transfer to a different pitcher that I prefer pouring into. And here we go. There you have it. Silky Milky from the Bellman Stovetop Steamer. So next up, we're gonna steam some Barista Milk. This is an alternative milk and made of coconut cream, fava bean, and oat. So I was gonna show you how you can create deliciously smooth texture, even with non-dairy using the Bellman Stovetop Steamer. So let's go. All right, so again, we're gonna open that steam valve, clear some out, get that pitcher on there 1/2 and 1/4, and we begin. And again, I can't urge you enough, be gentle with the stretching on this. Very gentle. It will want to do a ton of bubbles really quickly. You have to be gentle in order to get that silky, milky texture. And again, I'm not doing any modifications to this Bellman. This is straight out of the box. No need to do anything, as long as you have that proper technique. All right, and we're to temp. Turn that off, wipe it down, clear it out. Now I'm going to just transfer the pitcher. Actually, for this, we'll just stay in the same pitcher. Here we go. All right, and there we go with alternative milk. All right, so that's it. That is the Bellman Stovetop Steamer. Very easy to use. It's very similar to a steam on a machine. Just make sure when you're injecting your air, when you're doing the initial stretching, to be very gentle. Don't overdo it. You may even want to stop stretching before I typically recommend, which is when the pitcher meets the temperature of your hand. It comes out pretty aggressively. So keep that in mind. But this does absolutely incredible foam, and that means a lot because I am a stickler for good foam. So I really enjoy the foam it puts out. I don't necessarily think it's exactly the same quality as a machine, and I think it's just probably because the consistency of pressure isn't really there. It loses pressure as you steam, but it does a fantastic job. You can do incredible latte art at home. And you're gonna get the silky milky. So with that, I will sign off in a flamboyant show like I normally do. Hope you brewed something tasty today. Cheers.